I'm going to be showing you 8 clone fragrances that last even longer than the original fragrance. Because sometimes you don't have $350 to spend on an expensive Louis Vuitton fragrance that lasts for 3 freaking hours. In fact, these dupe fragrances that I'm about to show you are so strong that you could spray them on in the morning, have a shower at night, come out of the shower, and you'll still smell it on you. And yes, before you ask, this is my brand new fragrance shelf, because I'd been getting a lot of comments that my shelf had been bending because I'd been fitting too many fragrances on it for how small it was. So after about 6 hours of unloading fragrances, installing a brand new custom shelf later, this is the final result. So get used to seeing this in every single future video. Let's get into the fragrances. The first dupe fragrance on this list that I do find performs even better than the original is Liquid Brun by Fragrance World, or French Avenue. Wait, I'm holding the wrong fucking fragrance. I'm sorry guys, it's been a long day. Liquid Brun by French Avenue. I have the right fragrance here, and if you didn't know, this is probably the most popular dupe ever of Parfums de Marly Altair. One of the most popular niche fragrances in the world that in 2023, I believe, won niche fragrance of the year. Altair is just a super sweet and sexy masculine vanilla fragrance. It has orange blossom, it has cinnamon, it is perfect for the fall and winter, and Liquid Brun smells extremely close. I mean, the only kind of difference I can pick up on is on skin. It has a little more of kind of like a Middle Eastern edge to it. It's slightly less smooth, but honestly guys, unless you're really looking for a difference, you aren't gonna find one with these two fragrances. The fragrance I got this mixed up with at the beginning of the video was Carrelage Vanilla Dunes, which is also an Altair dupe. Comes across a lot more fresher. It's probably more of a versatile all year round scent, whereas Liquid Brun is definitely more rich and dense, perfect for the fall and winter. And I find this is the best performing Altair dupe. It outperforms even the real Altair itself. Online, you get a lot of mixed reviews about the performance of this fragrance. Some people are claiming it lasts 24 hours, with other people claiming it lasts 30 minutes. So where do you find the common ground here? Well, I can only tell you my personal experience with this fragrance. For me personally, it performs pretty freaking well. Not 24 hours well, but around 8 to 10 hours of longevity with moderate to strong projection. In terms of how good of a dupe it is, it gets a 9 to a 9.5 out of 10. And then performance-wise, considering it outbeats the real thing, it's close to a 10 out of 10 in terms of performance, smell, and price. So we're starting off with a banger. This is your quick reminder to please subscribe if you haven't already. My goal is to hit 250,000 subs by the end of this year. It's a tough goal, but I know we can do it, guys. I appreciate the support. The second dupe fragrance that I'm going to be showing you, which does in fact last longer and project about the same as the original fragrance, is Vision by Maison. And if you're thinking that is one crazy looking fragrance bottle, I discovered through you guys, my followers, when I first reviewed this fragrance, that this is actually modeled after the Future Museum in Dubai. And when I figured that out, my love for this fragrance got even more intense. Other than just looking like a work of freaking art, this does actually smell really good and is inspired by Louis Vuitton's Pacific Chill. And as you can tell, I love this fragrance, and I may have drank it all last night because I got a bit thirsty. You'll notice in the note breakdown of Vision that there's no peach, there's no apricot, and you do kind of pick up when you smell this fragrance that it is less fruity, it's kind of less fun, and it's more serious and mature. And you also find in the dry down that it's much more musky. My theory is to make this last longer, they had to remove some of those citrus top notes, add in some more depth at the base with the muskiness, and that is why it can last so much longer than the original Pacific Chill. I mean, this to me is a 13 hour performer, whereas the original Pacific Chill caps out at about 8 hours. Like I said though, the projection is about the same. I honestly find both this and the real Pacific Chill are very strong projectors for how fresh they are. Maybe you're an older guy over the age of 25, you don't have much money to spend, and you really value a strong performing summer fragrance. I think Maison Vision would actually be a fragrance you prefer over the real Pacific Chill because it has that mature vibe. It's a strong performer. It's got the muskiness. I think you could actually dress this one up and it could almost be office and school friendly because that fruitiness is toned down a lot. I prefer the smell of the real Pacific Chill. I'm not afraid to admit that, but I do appreciate how they've kind of added a twist to this. They've made it a better performer. I'm going to give this like a solid 8.5 out of 10. And as a dupe fragrance, it's probably only about a 7 because it's definitely a twist on the original scent. I know you've probably heard of this one and it has just bored you to death at this point, but if you don't own a bottle of this yet, you are missing out on compliments, and more compliments. I'm of course talking about Armaf's Club de Nuit Intense Man. I own a whole bunch of Club de Nuits and there are many fantastic ones in that fragrance line, but this is just the best. It gets the most compliments. It's the best value for money. It's the most timeless smell. I will never turn my back against the OG Club de Nuit Intense Man, no matter how many new versions Armaf comes out with. And compliments aren't everything, sure, I admit that, but if you tell yourself that compliments don't matter at all, that you don't like a good compliment, you're just fucking lying to yourself. Because who doesn't like getting stopped in the street, being asked, what fragrance are you wearing? Because I like it. I like it a lot. It doesn't happen a lot, but when it does, once a year, I'm probably wearing this fragrance. This is a dupe of the legendary Creed Aventus, and Aventus has been bought out by a bigger company. Well, Creed got bought out by a bigger company. It has been watered down, diluted to death. So many versions of Creed Aventus have come and gone, but the bottom line is the current version of Aventus that is on the market is just so freaking weak compared to Club de Nuit Intense Man, which costs 60 Australian dollars and lasts like 8 hours, and it's an eau de toilette concentration. I don't know how Armaf did it. Yes, the opening is very, very harsh, and to some people, it reminds them of lemon cleaner, but to me, it's beautiful. It's 10 out of 10. It's beautiful. I'm telling you guys, I have hundreds and hundreds of fragrances. I have heaps of niche scents, but this gets more compliments than all of them because it's masculine, it's woody, it's a little bit citrusy, it's got some leather. It just combines the most complimented aspects of cologne into a single fragrance bottle. It's crazy. The fourth clone fragrance that lasts even longer than the original thing technically isn't even a clone. At least to my knowledge, I've heard some people say that it smells like a popular Gissar fragrance. I have no idea what a Gissar is, but Rasasi Hawas Fire is the fragrance that I'm talking about. It's salty, it's aquatic, but sweet and kind of creamy at the same time. It's one of the most unique smelling colognes I have ever smelt. And for how cheap it is, the uniqueness of the smell you're getting, the long lastingness of it, it's crazy good value for money. And I own pretty much every other Rasasi Hawas, Hawas Tropical, Hawas Black, Hawas Ice, the original. Those are all fantastic in their own way, but I think Hawas Fire is the best in terms of projection, longevity, and how unique the smell is. Actually, I take that back because Hawas Black is one of the strongest fragrances ever, but this smells much better than that. And it smells much more unique too. If you can pick this up for around that 40 to 50 USD mark, I would say this is 100% worth the money and one of my favorite cheap fragrances of all time, period. Point blank, period. The fifth clone fragrance that outperforms the original thing is one that I don't even know is officially out yet. At the time of recording this, my first impressions on the fragrance, I haven't even recorded the video. Afnan's 9 PM Elixir. Yes, you're probably thinking, what the fuck is that fragrance? Is that even real? Yes, it is the brand new 9 PM that if you don't know by now, is coming out very soon. So this one is inspired by Jean-Paul Gaultier's Le Male Elixir Absolute, but it is not a one-to-one in any way. It is a massive twist on this fragrance DNA. Like, it doesn't even really smell similar. I don't know all the notes of this fragrance yet. The owner of Afnan only gave me a couple, like patchouli, labdanum, incense. It's a very kind of niche take on this fragrance. It also doesn't have the plum that this fragrance has, but in the opening, it's quite gourmand, and I think I can pick up on a sort of plum vibe, even though it's not a listed note. As it dries down, it becomes slightly animalic. It honestly almost does smell niche. It's a very interesting fragrance. I would still classify it as a clone, because definitely in the first 15 minutes, you get that familiar Le Male Elixir scent. It's just done in such a weird way. I like it, but I know some of you watching this are gonna much prefer just smelling like Le Male Elixir because it does smell much more basic than this fragrance, which is ironic because this is probably going to be like $50 and obviously the male Elixir is like $150. You'd think the expensive one smells more unique, but not in this case. I only unboxed this morning. I wore it. I sprayed it on my wrist probably 7.5 hours ago and it's not even a skin scent yet. It is literally still flying off my arm. Le Male Elixir Absolute is a strong fragrance, but I can already tell you this is even stronger and seems to be lasting even longer. I don't know if this is going to be like a viral release just because of how kind of unique it smells, but for the niche lovers out there that, you know, maybe you're against clones, I think this fragrance would be a great stepping stone into the world of Middle Eastern fragrances. The 6th clone fragrance that is even longer lasting and actually in this case better projecting than the original is Boujeremy's Hectic, which is a $60 Australian dupe of Louis Vuitton's Imagination. Boujeremy are officially pretty much worldwide at this point. They're in the US at FragranceNet. They're in the UK from Oda Ragner's website. He's a UK fragrance influencer. They're in the Middle East at boujeremy.ae, and of course they're in Australia. So basically no matter where you live, no excuses. I don't want to see those comments being like, when is Boujeremy going to be in the USA? They're in the USA. They're probably sold out because they always sell out. So Boujeremy Hectic for $60 Australian, probably around 40, 35 USD, is Louis Vuitton Imagination with a slightly less smooth opening and a slightly sweeter opening. But as it dries down, it just smells like luxurious bubble bath soap. That's how Imagination smells to me. That's how Hectic smells to me. You also do get a pressurized atomizer. Wow, look at that. Pretty cool. It just smells pleasant. It's a great everyday fragrance. It doesn't blow me away. Hectic doesn't blow me away. The real Imagination doesn't blow me away. But I know you watching probably love Imagination because it seems like everybody does. Check this out if you want a good dupe of it, basically. It's not much longer lasting than the original. It's honestly probably lasts about the same, maybe slightly longer. I get about 6 to 7 hours of longevity with moderate projection. The next dupe fragrance that outperforms the original, and in this case, I think smells even better than the original, is Lattafa Khamrah, which is a dupe of Kilian's Angel Share. That's gonna rattle some feathers. I know a lot of you guys don't think Khamrah is a dupe of Angel Share, and actually, I don't either. It does smell very different. The more I smell it, the more I realize they're pretty much completely different fragrances. But obviously, this was inspired by Angel Share. It still has, you know, 50-60% similarity. The bottle design, the aesthetic, it's clear it was inspired by Angel Share, so I feel comfortable still calling this a dupe. Lattafa Khamrah is a beast performer on me for the price. I'm talking 11-12 hours longevity with pretty damn strong projection. Kilian's Angel Share just isn't that type of performer on me, but honestly, for the type of scent Angel Share is, the real Angel Share, it's more boozy, it's more sophisticated. This is more of a date night fragrance, whereas I think Khamrah is more of a kind of standout clubbing, maybe like fancy dinner party type of fragrance. You want people to smell you. You want everyone around you to smell you. Whereas Angel Share is a bit more intimate. Maybe you're just having a one-on-one type of thing with a woman or man or whatever you like. I love both of these fragrances. I don't even think it's redundant to own both. I wear both a lot when I'm in different moods. Again, this is more boozy when I want to be more dressed up. This is more kind of fun and flirty. I love both. I slightly prefer Khamrah. It's a better performer on me, like I just said. And I like the creamy, more unisex, gourmand nature of the scent. Honestly, both Khamrah and Angel Share are a 10 out of 10. And they're quite different fragrances, probably for different people. If you're a younger guy on a budget, check out Khamrah. If you're an older guy who likes to dress up, maybe you're looking to get a girlfriend, Angel Share is the one for you. I've saved the best dupe fragrance for last to reward you guys who have watched all the way to the end. And I'm not talking about this fragrance. I just realized I picked up the wrong one. I'm talking about Vanilla Voyage by Maison, which looks very similar to this one. Coffee Blend by Maison is a dupe of Mancera Amore Cafe. And this is also fantastic. But Amore Cafe is a freaking beast performer. And this doesn't quite get there. But Vanilla Voyage is a dupe of the infamous Bianco Latte, one of the most hyped up winter fragrances right now, and it fucking destroys it in terms of just every category. Bianco Latte on me, when I first sprayed on, it has this weird minty herbal thing going on. It has a kind of odd, not after smell, like, you know how when you drink something and the initial taste is really good, but as you kind of swallow it, it has the aftertaste. Bianco Latte has a weird after smell, and I don't even think that's a real term, but it is just for this video. It is to me. Vanilla Voyage just takes the best parts of Bianco Latte, puts them in a perfume bottle, and improves the projection and longevity. I get about 12 hours of longevity. It's the perfect base layer, something you just spray on, and then layer with a more masculine vanilla fragrance on top of it. But honestly, even just by itself, oh man. Like I said, the projection is quite... Oh, it also doesn't taste as good as it smells. That is going to wrap up this video on 8 cologne fragrances that last and project even better than the original fragrance. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one.